What is up, my friends? How are you guys doing? Welcome back. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you're having a great day wherever you're at and whatever you're doing. Hope you're loving yourself and you're loving the ones you're with, because that is what it is all about, my friends. Guys, today we are talking about a movie from 1958, directed by Mr. Val Guest. This was part of my Hammer collection that my wife got me for Christmas. This is another one we're going to be diving into. This is The Camp on Blood Island. So guys, I got this, and I pop in a few of these Hammer films from time to time. And as you all know, Hammer is predominantly a horror, or they are predominantly known for being a horror film production company. But in the late 50s and 60s, they did a little combo. They did a little amalgamation between them and Columbia Pictures, and they wound up coming out with a few non-horror movie related films. And this one is actually a World War II film, and this is one of the very first films that tries to realistically portray the horrors of war. So we have, it's basically about an internment camp in World War II, Japanese POW camp, where the Japanese are basically punishing and torturing American prisoners of war. And we have a cast of characters that are not only surviving, but trying to figure out a way to get out of this predicament that they are in. But where this movie shines is, like I said, it was one of the first films to really try to portray the horrors of war, the realistic portrayal of the demise of American soldiers and things. And so we get Hammer's interpretation, which if you're gonna make a war movie, back then, and you want it to be super realistic, Hammer would be the people you would go to, because they have great special effects. They can do blood and gore very well for the time. They would be the people that you would want to make your war film. And so this is the special effects in this are great. The acting in this are really, really good, but it's kind of the subject matter that really makes this shine, because it's directed by Mr. Val Guest, and he actually directs 2 war films for Hammer Productions. And he directs this, The Camp on Blood Island. He also directs Yesterday's Enemy, which I will also be doing a review on here pretty soon. But this really, like I said, it's in that internment camp environment. So you've got these guys like struggling with heat and the elements and their captors and all these types of things. And the performances are anywhere from like subdued to very vibrant and eclectic performances. The Japanese tormentors are just tormenting, you know what I mean? The acting in this is very good. The performances by the supporting cast are good. The story itself is very, very interesting, with the trying to get out of their situation. I really enjoyed this film. I enjoyed this probably more than Yesterday's Enemy, but for the time, I think it was an excellent war film, especially in a time of John Wayne and Burt Lancaster and those kind of guys, and those types of war films that are, I don't want to say overly macho or anything like that, but this felt, those are stylized, romanticized war films, put it that way. You've got John Wayne riding in the Jeep with his hat on, and he's got the cigar, and he's, shouting out orders and stuff. And this was far more realistic, where, you're watching the men suffer, you're watching the commanders make these hard decisions. It's not a feel-good war movie like a John Wayne or something like that, one of his films. So that's why I really appreciated The Camp on Blood Island, and I think it was a really, really good addition to the box set, because this box set, this Hammer collection, not only does it encompass just a few of their great horror films, but it's got a bank robbery movie, it's got 2 war movies, it's got a haunted house comedy. I mean, Hammer has such an eclectic collection of films if you really dive into their catalog. So I really enjoyed the camp on Blood Island. Next up is going to be Yesterday's Enemy. We're going to talk about Val Guest's second war film for Hammer Productions, so stay tuned for that, guys. But thanks so much for hanging out. That's it for the camp on Blood Island. I highly recommend you guys check it out if you can find it. And compare and contrast. Watch it alongside a John Wayne or a Burt Lancaster or a Clark Gable type war film from the same era, and then watch this one and look at the notable differences in it. That's what really turned me on to the film, was the fact that it wasn't sunshine and rainbows, we're winning the war and kicking ass and taking names. It was very realistic depiction. So I respect it and appreciate it for that. That's it, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hit that like and subscribe button for me on the way out. And as always, my friends, I'm going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. Peace out. God bless you, and I will see you soon.